Ready? So we're gonna wait for Terry. Has anybody heard from Terry about coming or not coming today? Should we just get started? Oh, there it is. Perfect timing. Hey, welcome to the November 3rd board meeting. It's 4:33. Let's get it started. Terry, do you want to do the land acknowledgement?
Good, yeah. Okay. We just acknowledge that the land that we occupy right now belongs to an indigenous culture who survived here sustainably for over 10,000 years. And we did a little genocide and took it away from them.
Exactly true. Did we all read the minutes for the October 6th meeting? Shall we vote to approve those minutes?
Wait, agenda.
Oh, welcome. Oh, additions to the agenda. Does anybody have an addition to the agenda they would like to add?
I made one change before I printed it, so there was just one change from what Pat said, and that is that I removed the lunch drop-off policy, tabling it for now, and added a item that said food for thought for Mindy. We'll get there.
Okay, and it's on here.
Yep.
Yep, I see it. Okay, so we have additions. So let's.
Does anybody else have any other additions?
Yes.
I guess I would like to bring up air purifiers, but that could probably just be in the facilities updates.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
A motion to approve the agenda.
Second that.
All in favor?
All in favor? Okay. So we've all read the October 6th meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes? All in favor? Okay. Public comment. Have we received any public comments?
I have not received any public comments.
I will say that when we were fundraising at Grocery Outlet, we talked to a lot of the public and did a lot of interfacing with the community at large, and it was very positive. Anybody else have any experiences? Okay. Reports. Our financial report.
Hello, friends.
Hi, Ryan.
Hello, Ryan.
How are we all doing?
Awesome.
I am passing out a statement of activity for the month of September. If you flip it over and look at the bottom of the backside, you will see our current balances, account balances, as of October 31st. So there's bottom checking account $11,287.15. And savings $181,692.16 for a grand total of $192,979.81. So we're in a pretty good financial position. If anyone has last month's handy, you'll see we're down easily 60 or 70 grand from what we were at last month. The interesting thing with the timing of our calendar is that last month's report was right after the balance came in from Three Rivers. So we got about $60,000 from Three Rivers last month, and we had our statement right after. This is actually right before. So very soon we should be getting, I think it's about $57,000 from Three Rivers for our monthly student fund. So it'll look even better in a couple more days. So that's our balances. This is our statement of activity for September. You can see once again one of our highest accounts is our labor. And generally, most businesses and most nonprofits, most organizations, labor costs are going to be sometimes mostly the highest cost. Take a peek at other such things. If there's any questions, you can see retirement's a pretty big cost. Unemployment insurance is rentals is holding steady. Every month it's $2,560, $2,500 for our building rental, $60 for our storage rental. Any questions on this? Overall, you can see that our total income was $57,975.81. Our total expenses was $74,000, which means net operating income is negative $16,000. So we have spent more than we've taken in. But again, as I mentioned in past months, we did receive a large grant payment for the CSP, the Federal Charter Schools Program grant, that we have not spent all of. And so we took in some of that money, and now we are spending that. So it is likely that we'll continue to be spending a little more than we're taking in, as long as we're still trying to catch up to that grant. Any questions? Here you can see what we spent all our money on last September. So, any questions?
I have no questions.
All right, thank you.
It's good.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
And Cody, I'll email you the finance report I just shared.
Okay. Community and culture. We have enrollment updates.
Yes, our enrollment, we got, one new student started this past week, not this week, but last week. We had a new student start last week, and then we are looking for, sorry, that's not how to word that. We are anticipating another new student starting this week.
Are these lower or younger?
One of
We were in the holding
them,
pattern.
one of them is an upperclassman, because we lost an upperclassman.
Okay.
And then I think the other one is a sophomore. Yeah, right? Right, yes. Okay, cool. Yes. And then that brings us back to 64, right? 63.
63.
One less than full.
63.
Okay, cool. So we're not just looking for like freshmen, because like would we take like a sophomore? We would absolutely take a sophomore. Freshman and sophomore classes are the only ones in space. The only reason we have a space for a junior is because we lost. Okay, yeah. Otherwise, we would not have taken that junior. But we would take maybe. We would absolutely take a freshman or a sophomore. Yeah.
Government shutdowns, the impacts on ODE and KCA. Who wants to address that?
That
Easy out of that.
was probably Casey. Hey Casey, would you like to talk about the impacts of ODE and the government shutdown?
Yeah.
I mean, not that you want to, but would you please?
Yes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 main ways that it's impacting KCA. The first is our CSP grant is a federal grant, and all but 1 member of the CSP staff has been laid off. They didn't specify who was still working there, and they didn't say furloughed, it's laid off, so I don't think they plan to rehire them after the shutdown ends. So for us, thankfully, we just entered our 3rd fiscal year of the grant, and the funds were already distributed to us, like we approved for distribution in September, and that money is sitting in an account, or sitting in a government website called G5, which is not a CSP website. It's like a funds disbursement website. So CSP already released the money to G5. So it should be, we haven't needed another drawdown, but it should be available for a drawdown. And then I was contacted by Katie Burke. She's the Senior Director of Policy for the National Alliance of Public Charter Schools. So that's a large national organization. They are reaching out to all of the CSP grantees to offer their services. Mostly first year people are going to be needing a lot of support, and thankfully we're feeling really bad for them, but thankfully, like for us, we just, everything's just kind of in limbo, and just our, the one thing is that we had submitted our budget change request to our program officer, Leslie, and right before the shutdown happened, and she sent it back to us because she couldn't open the file. That was like it. She's like, I just can't open the file. So we fixed it, sent it back to her, and it shut down the next day. And so, so that is one thing that's still somewhat in limbo. And we were asking just to shift some funding from one approved category of spending to another category. And so for the moment, we don't need to worry about that, but that's kind of hanging in the air. That's one. So second, y'all probably know, the Department of Special Education is a federal office, and it's pretty much been gutted. The funding for this year has, to the best of our knowledge, has been dispersed to the states. And so we may not be looking at real serious consequences until the next fiscal year begins July 1st. And Title I-A is also a federal program, and that is Title I to guarantee additional funding for low-income schools. We just completed our Title I budget and TAP for this year, Targeted Assistance Program. And we have learned that we are the 2nd lowest income school of the 3 Rivers School District. Our percentages are 89%. I think, or let's see, 88.68% poverty rate at KCA. And the good news again is that funding was dispersed on July 1st. So for this year, Title I funding is coming through. We are good. We even have money to hire 2 assistants. We don't know what will happen coming next year. And Office of Civil Rights, 2 more. Office of Civil Rights has been completely gutted. And so that is any recourse, any recourse for any civil rights complaints. Right now, there's someone there to investigate those complaints on a federal level. We still have our civil rights coordinators here. We still have support with the district. We still have support with ODE. Still has their Office of Civil Rights going strong. So it's not like there's nothing there, but definitely the foundation is quite shaky right now. And then most immediately, SNAP benefits, as I'm sure you all know. Josephine County, according to a map published by Oregon Public Broadcasting, 44% of residents in Josephine County rely on SNAP benefits. That is incredibly high. Yeah. And so our students are nervous. They've asked, asking for support, and this is actually one thing that Michael just dropped out, emergency food pantry. Tuesdays, at the Family Coalition, so he just passed out a flyer. Maybe I'll pass this around if you guys want to take a look. So we have emergency food pantries. The administration was sued by 29 states, including Oregon, and on to distribute the SNAP benefits because there's contingency funding that can fund it. And then on Friday, a federal judge issued the Trump administration to release those funds. And as of today, the latest news report came out just a few hours ago, said that something's being, like a small amount
There's
is
a
being dispersed.
percentage is going to be
Percentage.
dispersed.
Yeah.
Not the full amount.
Yeah.
Partial.
So thankfully, we already provide free breakfast and lunch to everybody, like no questions asked. But it's definitely a concern for a lot of our families. If this continues, we need to be discussing contingency plans. And Journey Home and Michael and Journey Home has already reached out sort of on an informal level to us to say, okay, can we start brainstorming what we may need to do on that?
Maybe we can do a dinner night each week for families.
We're talking about like a potluck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I
so
would be happy to be engaged in that.
that is an immediate need.
Okay.
So sorry for all that really tough news.
Really grim stuff.
Is the school still making sandwiches and taking them to the park?
That is done through, do you mean on Wednesdays at the park?
Well, a couple months before, that's what the kids were doing, they were making lunches to take to the park, they did.
Through Shannon Long, and how was Shannon working, what organization was she working through? Right, do you remember? Like,
I did it with them for a little bit.
was it Spiral Living Center?
I don't think it was Sarah Livingston. It was something like Project U Plus over in Grand Pass, and they came over.
Was it Max's Mission?
I
Max's
think it was
mission.
Max.
Okay,
Yeah, it was Max's mission.
so
I
we
mean,
haven't,
so I think you have some.
we haven't seen actually, yeah, I don't know what's happening with that.
Shannon does teach third period, which is right after lunch on Mondays and Wednesdays, and so her engagement with that activity has probably been shifted to someone else with Max's Mission because it was like right at noon on Wednesdays. So since she's teaching graphic design, it's probably shifted hands, and she also can't then organize the students to go and do that because she's busy teaching.
And we discussed ITAC and the budget, right? We're on to high school
Well,
success.
did we do, that's still separate, right?
Is that still separate?
The tap in.
Or do we not need to talk about it now because of where it's standing?
High school success agreement.
Title I, right, the tap in Title I.
Yeah.
No, that is a separate line item,
Oh,
because those
okay.
funds are solid.
Okay.
And so for some numbers, so again, this is money that was, our fiscal year runs from July 1st through June 30th, so this money was released on July 1st, and so we have it for now. The federal government's fiscal year runs from October 1st to September 30th. That's why anytime we have like a federal grant, like CSP, that fiscal year is gonna be different. Title I, even though it's a federal program, the money goes to the state, to Three Rivers, and then they manage it and come to us. So we're guaranteed this money for now. Our TAP is a targeted assistance plan. Title I schools can either be whole school or targeted assistance. And we are currently targeted assistance. You have to be up and running for a couple of years before you qualify to be whole school. However, because we are at an 88.68% Title I rate, Jessica Duran at the Three Rivers has said effectively we are operating as a whole school Title I program. Just some interesting data I wanted to share with you. So the TAP is a plan I submit every fall that gives an update as to the demographics of students that we serve and how we're gathering data about how our students were performing academically, primarily in reading and math. That's why we now do math assessments, the measure of academic progress 3 times a year. That gives us our baseline, beginning, mid, and end year of where our students are at. And again, it's a standardized test, it's adaptive, standardized tests only measure so much, right? There's so many limitations to them, but it is definitely one kind of quick snapshot that you can get, and then you combine that with all of the like qualitative observational assessments that we can do of where students are at. And anybody who is identified, any student who is identified as needing academic help in those areas qualifies for Title I funding, even if their family, doesn't matter their particular family's income level. So, and that's kind of a fun, you know, like interesting thing about that, where I feel like we do effectively operate like a whole school Title I program. So anyone who is identified through MAP as needing help qualifies for help. And this year, just in case you know you're curious about, actually this is last academic year, a couple of data points for last academic year. We served a total of 61 students, averaging 56 students in grades 9 through 12. We served 36 young women, 24 young men, and 1 non-binary student. Our poverty rate is 88.68%, and that's based on measurements taken on April 1st of each year. 28% of our students come from a historically oppressed race or ethnicity. 0% are multilingual learners. We don't yet have any English language learners, which I think we need to, you know, notice. We're not attracting that demographic yet, so there's more that to be done that we can do to make ourselves a welcoming environment for students who are learning English. 15% of students have an active IEP or 504 plan. 22.95% of students have self-identified physical limitations. 37.7% have self-identified mental limitations, and 11.48% have self-identified learning limitations, meaning when each year they complete paperwork for the school and it asks you to identify if you feel like, you know, you have mental, physical, or mental, social, emotional limitations, which is different than a 504 plan or an IE plan that has been, you know, gone through the process of being created and approved. 37.7% self-identify as members of the LGBTQ2SI+ community. That is huge. We are definitely 37.7% of our students self-identify as being in the LGBTQ2SI+ community. Those acronyms, Oregon is somewhat unique in this acronym. LGBTQ, we all know, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, Q questioning. 2SIA means two spirit. Two spirit is 2S. And then IA is intersex. And A is, oh my goodness.
Asexual.
Thank you. And then of course the plus for the 86 additional. And did I get that correct? Did I get the acronym correct?
I think the only one is Q is not questioning. I think it's queer.
Queer. Okay, thanks.
That was
Yeah.
passive language. It is queer.
So that's more than a third of our kids are part of that community. So we are definitely have a strong reputation as being a safe place. Yeah, like gay school. Whether that's gonna attract you to our school or cause you to have social feelings towards our school, that's
As long as our kids are safe and.
as long as our kids are safe.
That's
Yes.
what we care.
And then McKinney-Vento, final stat to share is 21% of students are identified as McKinney-Vento, and that means houseless. That's a fifth of our kids. That means you are not living in stable housing. So you might still be with your legal guardians, but you're staying with grandma and grandpa. Not because you have chosen to live together, but because that's the choice you have. You might be living in an RV. Some folks, if they want to live in an RV or a school bus out of choice, that's not McKinney-Vento. But if that's your only option and that's what you're dealing with, that's qualified as McKinney-Vento. So that is probably an undercount, right? Because we try to identify everyone who, where we can, where we know that they need those services, and we're never quite sure of who else might be flying under the radar and just kind of keeping it quiet. And this also,
Surfing out of friends also counts as McKinney-Vento.
and so that's we have a really great population of kids. Like we have just really grateful that we that kids are coming to us who need more support, because that's why we're here. We want to get as much support as possible. So that's part of the information I send to the district as part of our planning for Title I spending. And then just to give you some numbers for this year, we have, we can hire 2 positions. We're hiring 2 Title I assistants. And we'll be spending $25,169 on staffing. And we can continue our math tutoring program from last year. We budgeted $16,300 for that. Purchasing the standardized testing, the math, we budgeted $5,000. And then purchasing curriculum to help students deal with test anxiety, $1,800. And then we also have some money to do a Pi Day celebration family night on March 14th for math. We're doing that again. And then this year we'll be adding the night that Sarah Kinsler will be developing. So our total is $48,209 for staffing and discretionary, plus $702 for those family nights. So that's Title I, and that money is guaranteed. It will not go away this year. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Casey. It's a lot of information. Each of the seniors doing this?
Everyone in senior seminar.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when is that?
When is it?
One of those presentations?
It should be in December.
Okay.
So it's,
Yeah.
when I get an actual date, let you guys know.
Yeah.
That's
Or there's date. But it's in December.
She just emailed 3 dates this morning. So can we'll forward that info to everybody. Yeah, you guys invited. And then last one, we can just cover the student investment account, the Journey Home Support Services, because that's also in this budget. And that is for another grant that's under the same umbrella. That's why they're on the same spreadsheet. And that's the grant SIA, stands for Student Investment Account. And that's gonna give us this year $41,263.18. And next year it's gonna give us $42,947.98. And I don't know if you like track numbers, but the budget that they approved for us back in July was much less than this. And then I think it was 29,000. And then I had a meeting with Jessica Durant earlier, October 2nd, and it had bumped up, but we don't know why. And we're not gonna complain. So Jessica was like, just take it, it's good. So we have so much more money than we thought
And
we
this
have.
is for counseling services?
This is for, yeah, Journey Home Support Services, and we're technically not, because they're not licensed counselor therapists, but they're providing support services. So I'll pass this around. We just signed a contract with Journey Home, but yeah, to provide one-to-one support, small group work. They want to make themselves available after hours, on weekends, times, during the school day. And it's a nice chunk of change. And
So, is that money then going to Journey Home?
oh, sorry, what was that?
So we're getting a grant and then the money is going directly to Journey Home.
Yes, they will be our subcontractor.
And they don't need to be licensed or anything for that to happen.
No, not to provide support services.
Yes, we're not using the word or the term
Yeah.
counseling because that's not what it is.
Yeah, it's not therapy. It's social
Yeah.
emotional.
What is it that they're providing exactly?
Do you want?
So since Melissa and I are social emotional co-chair, disciplinary co-chair, a lot of the time there's like mental health issues during the day that need immediate responses. And having Journey Home subcontracted to provide these services help Melissa and I keep our time open and free for things that aren't like crisis situations. Journey Home is also willing to like connect students like McKinney-Vento students, for example, to like rides for showers or rides to the doctor or things like that, that just contribute to the student's overall well-being. And the less fires that Melissa and I have to put out, especially while we're teaching, because a lot of the time something happens while we're in the middle of teaching class, then the more time we will have available to complete our admin duties and do the other things that are required of us as teachers. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Oh.
And we're passing around the contract that we just signed with Journey Home. When it comes back to me, I'll
with us. They're sending kids in crisis to them. And there's a legal situation that arises, like, how is that?
That's
What
a
does
great
that look
question.
like?
They are covered under our insurance as a subcontractor, or they also have their own insurance.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
and so the services will.
Is it, and so Michael Franklin is an employee of the school and he's getting a separate contract to do this also.
Journey Home is getting the contract. Michael is not Journey Home. He's a part of Journey Home, and there are staff available at Journey Home who will be plugging in.
okay.
Michael will be like, when he's not teaching, because the students have specifically requested him because they know and trust him. He will be our like on-call person, but he will not be the only person providing services.
And they are licensed and insured.
Yeah, and they're licensed and insured, so any kind of services that can.
As certified mental health workers.
Exactly.
Of the state board. So, okay, you know, that kind of answers this.
They aren't LSMWs, that's why you can't say it's a therapist, but they're all licensed.
Okay.
Or certified, I should clarify.
Okay. Well, it sounds like they could be a really good resource. I mean. You guys need help.
We can plug them in immediately as well, whereas like, you know, speaking out,
Yeah.
you know, someone from wherever will take
And at
the time.
some point, do we kind of evaluate the effectiveness of what they're offering?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So will they be here in the school?
They'll be using, so the office that Jan uses on Tuesdays and Thursdays for Project Key Plus, has always been designed to be used by our support services on Mondays and Wednesdays. So they will be sharing that office.
Oh,
And we are likely able to allow students to go to Journey Home. We just need to make sure with check with our insurance coverage to make sure that, like, if there was a need on a day when Jan is here using the office and that office was not available, we still don't have private spaces at the school. And so if our insurance allows it, so that's not set in stone yet, but if our insurance allows it, they could have this at Journey Home.
is the school still have, gonna get an in-house school counselor?
This is the closest we can, this is that effective.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, we just were cautioned against using because they aren't LSMWs, we can't, it's not like a therapist, but
What serves the
it's for
purpose?
social emotional support, yeah. So
Okay.
some of it's just names,
Yeah.
the names we use to CYA,
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, the students have for Journey Home to be the source of that support.
So
Well,
if something comes up and they know that they're going there, take the pressure off and they go, okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go and it's gonna be all.
The students absolutely trust Michael. If not, Michael said that there's other, if you wanted a different person, there's other people that can provide that too.
and Michael is here if you want to ask him more direct
Yeah, I could
questions,
go
because
find
he's
him.
developing a schedule for when they'll be dropping out for students, when they'll be scheduled groups, there's a lot of structure to it, I just don't want to speak for him,
Right.
but he is here if you could bring him if needed.
Eric, you go ahead.
I'm
I'm okay.
Do you wanna ask Michael
I'm okay
questions,
too.
Cody?
Cody, do you have questions?
I don't think I have questions exactly. I'll look into it further when I see the contract.
Yeah. Okay.
It just
Well-
seems like when we're using public money, we need to be very careful that, we're going through the correct processes. And if we didn't put this out to bid, didn't explore other options, and he works at the school, it has an appearance of possible impropriety. So I just want to make sure it's all above board.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean,
And that is a discussion that we had as teacher leaders as well.
Yeah.
Whether or not there was a conflict of interest, because Michael is employed by the school. And it seems through the research that we've done that since it's not Michael as the school counselor, it's Journey Home providing the services. That's where it makes it more acceptable. Because it doesn't always have to be him.
right. I mean, for me, that they're certified mental health workers and they're in fast background checks and they're insured and licensed.
100%.
And they're in the community, they're available, we have a relationship with them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I it makes sense to me.
I'll just jump in and add, we've had this discussion before with other staff members about, either the appearance or the reality of conflict of interest. And there is something about being in a small rural community that does not have a lot of qualified people. And, here is someone, yes, the school, one of the few qualified people in our community to provide the service works for the school. Yes, that's the reality. And, I do think it's important. I thank you, Cody, for bringing that up. I think it's always important to acknowledge when there may be a conflict of interest or even a perceived conflict of interest. But I think there's not many people in this community who can provide the same support, the same level of support, and that's just the reality in a small community.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah, and it also helps with our poverty levels, that a lot of the work they do is very compassionate towards people in crisis and people in poverty too. So there's a good groundwork of emotional intelligence there.
And Cody, I'm not sure if, because the screen went black for a minute there, I'm not sure if that's when we were clarifying that Journey Home doesn't receive the money from the government. It comes to KCA. It's just, and so everything goes through KCA, but it just allows us the ability to pay for those services. And we're under, so it just, provides an amount for us. We also originally had intended to put, to hire it as a staff position.
Yeah.
And then we were told by Jessica Durant at the district that it's budgeted as a contracted position right now. So that's what it says in the budget. So that kind of limited our options. And because we had Journey Home available, we thought, okay, this will likely work out. But if this doesn't, at some point we may realize that this shouldn't be a contracted position, that this should be a staff position. And then we could, move to revise the budget for future cycles. So that's that. Any other questions on all of that money?
No, those were my questions that are answered. Anything else, Jalen? Okay. Okay, and so that is a signed contract. That's happening. We don't need to vote on that or anything like that. Community connections.
So wait a second, how is that a signed contract that didn't go through board approval for that much?
The board approved this in the spring when we joined the integrated programs application with the Three Rivers School District. That's when the board approved the proposed funding for the SIA grant. Do you remember that back in, was it March?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when the board approved it for Project U Plus, RCC, and to get counseling services.
Question answered?
Question answered.
Okay. All right. So then let's move on to community connections. Anybody got anything?
Let me check my.
Anything happening with?
Well, the students at KCA got free entry at the dome school with the band.
Ooh, that's cool.
Kimmy Kimbo.
Right on, Kimmy Kimbo. Yeah, they're cool. Let's see, we have something with Rescue Leader.
Yes.
Anything happening with Spiral?
Community events. Melissa shared that leadership and service class was able to organize and put together an all and it was a blast. She said that she is so proud of her class for decorating and organizing the entire event. A special shout out to Athena for painting the incredible backdrop for our photo booth.
It looked really cool.
It was
Last
awesome.
week was exhausting, but super fun.
Awesome.
You did it? It's
No.
super good.
Alrighty.
Probably still in there.
Yeah.
Where was it?
So let's move on to location facility. Who's got a facility update?
So we have a new roof.
I saw
Yay.
It was supposed to take 2 weeks. It took 3.5-ish. And they also were working all the live long school day. So everyone from staff to student has been quite on edge with the rumbling and the banging and the loud noise. The ceiling tiles cracking and their lack of awareness that they were working on a school campus, but that's, oh well, our new roof hopefully doesn't leak. I can't wait for a giant rain to check my clean hole that leaked last year. And yeah, what else? Also air purifiers, right, thank you, yes, that's what I was about to say. So it is cold and flu season and it is going around. The building has really terrible ventilation. Students are constantly complaining in this classroom, no matter whether my vent is open or closed, that it's freezing. Ryan's room, Melissa's room, and the community room all get nice and toasty. Those are about the classrooms that get the heater, that's why I have a heater on the wall. And so with that in mind, that probably means, for sure that means, well, and during the dance, the carbon monoxide detectors kept beeping. It didn't go off, but it was like, hey, open window basically. And so I was thinking about air purifiers for each classroom are probably a really good idea. And seeing testing board interest in spearheading that thing, because I cannot add another thing to my to-do list, and I think that the other teacher leaders are about in the same boat. I wouldn't even know where to start with an air purifier, because they all purify the air, right? So, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be really nice, and I believe through it's either Safe Schools, of course I don't have it pulled up. One of the ODE requirements for safety and compliance is that there's operation or air purification in the buildings. Most of the other schools have HVAC systems. We aren't quite there yet. So food for thought.
Okay.
So would that be a purifier in each room?
Yeah,
And would they be like a certain level of industrial,
I don't know.
certain amount of
That's not my
cubic
expertise.
feet per second?
Probably, I imagine so. I have not even started Googling this because I got so overwhelmed with the fire system and the intercom system and the camera system that I thought maybe I just might mention it and see if anybody wants to take it.
I could look into it.
That'd be great.
I just wondered if, there's probably little tiny air purifiers and you probably need really good.
Yeah,
There may be a standard that we
yeah,
have to meet too.
right, there's probably a standard that we have to meet. It probably has to not just take out particulates, but also purify the air of pathogens.
So the standards would be some kind of school standard.
School or
Yeah,
hospital,
that's-
or even
yeah.
hospital, I'm not sure.
CSP,
Yeah,
Brian
we
could
can
probably cover that right. What do you think?
Yeah, if it's because we have technology budget, right, so perhaps the CSP would cover it, but we just need to know what we're looking at getting.
All depends on.
Right. Yeah. That could be rough with only one employee.
Or perhaps fundraising or something. Clay, not to bring him up while he's not here, but he has talked about running some kind of concert in the park fundraiser type thing, where we try and fundraise for.
Well, I guess
things
the
like
first
that.
thing is to figure out
What we need.
what we need.
Exactly.
So, Charity, thank you for
The square
taking
footage.
a look
Oh,
at that.
and that also reminds me that I'm so glad that we said square footage also. I really need the floor plan drawn out because I have to call the fire marshal to come and do our yearly inspection. And I really need the floor plans with like the fire exits marked, even just a clear floor plan. And I know you were drawing one up, Cody. I did start to also draw one up, but I'm sure it's not as nice as yours is.
Yes, I failed on that task. I'm sorry. I will get back on.
You just have to
I delayed it for a long time and kind of forgot about it. So yes, I'll get back on it.
So yeah, otherwise, facility wise, it's cool to know that the carbon monoxide detectors work. I was even though it was like stressful that they would go off after everybody was getting really excited at the dance, they would go beep just once and I would check the thing and it was like, open a window. So I'm glad that they work, yeah.
Good that they work. Okay, is that our facility update?
Yes.
Okay, we're moving on then to student reports.
Would you like to?
Sure. Okay, so last Thursday, me and Drake decided to take on a community class without the teachers. So we had our first student-led community class. We organized here. It's pretty messed up, but we did together this Socratic seminar circle, which consisted of like an inner circle and an outer circle. And so we had like people in the outer circle who didn't feel like speaking, and then people come in and like talk in the circle. We created 2 prompts. How do you feel about the solutions that we came up with last class? Because the class before that we were coming up with a bunch of solutions on what we can do to make the school better. And then how effective or ineffective do you think those solutions would be? And then the second one was, how will you as a KCA student hold another student accountable, and what are the challenges you would face in doing so? We got like Dolly, lovely Dolly, described everything everyone said to us. So we have everything written down, but that's just for me and Drake's eyes because we're keeping it very confidential. But we will chart up like a brief like what everyone said without using people's words.
Did it feel effective?
I felt like
Did you guys feel like you learned a
was
lot?
pretty effective. I feel like we had more student participation than I've seen in a teacher-led one. So
And
Very
there were some students who spoke. who
there was
like
very
very
few
much
people in the hallway.
And it's very awesome being able to hear them get all like vulnerable and honest with this.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Everyone stayed in the room at least, which is really hard to do.
That is a big deal around here.
I only had to kick people out of the bathroom once, and they all came smiling. So I was pretty happy about that.
Bravo.
But I think it was really good. We didn't get very much like problem solving, but we just wanted to kind of see how it would play out and what.
But you got communicating.
Oh, yeah, we
Yes.
can work as a whole lot.
Yes.
Which really builds like respect and trust with each
Absolutely.
other, which is a big deal.
So we're definitely gonna start doing that more often.
That's really cool. I love that.
I'm like so fucked up. It's so bad.
Okay.
You have a binder now though, so we'll get
Yeah,
that.
it's slightly more professional. It's just upside down. It's got holes in it, but you know what? It's fine. Drake, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, as we all left community class, there was definitely a different energy. Everyone was a lot more positive and definitely excited about like solving these problems. Even like hearing the problems, they were excited about.
Yes.
And I was super happy. It was really exciting to hear that.
I love that. That is really cool. Way to make the school your own,
Oh yeah.
you know?
I think we plan on doing another one
Yeah.
this tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we're definitely gonna talk to students about their bathroom door and stuff. Cause we've gotten some like feedback of like people not liking the bathroom door. So we wanna figure out what's the deal and like it, if we don't, and what we can do to keep the bathroom door, please. So, yeah.
Okay, well, thanks, you guys. It's really good to hear from your perspective. It's really cool. Staff report, do we have a staff report?
Yeah, we have so much information in our brains now from the past 2 weekends. So went, not this past weekend, the weekend before last, sorry, all the time is living together. This past weekend was Halloween. So the weekend before Halloween weekend, we were in Michigan doing the Teacher Powered Schools Conference. That was really, really affirming for the way that we're running the school. There are schools in the country who have been open since the like 70s, 80s, and 90s who are doing teacher-powered, student-centered, project-based learning, and they're incredibly successful. They're able to collect data that shows that like structure of school is like incredibly successful and has sustainability attached to it, as long as everybody is on the same page and tries really hard to like pull everyone in who doesn't feel like they're a part of it. Lots of data around bringing joy to the students, meeting them where they're at. So that was really, really cool. There was also a lot of really great administrative information at that conference to help maintain the teacher-powered, non-hierarchical kind of structure that we have going on here. We also got paired with a sister school who was called Woodlawn.
HB Woodland.
HB Woodlawn, and they are in what state? Sorry.
Virginia.
In Virginia, and
Basically Washington.
yeah, to talk to. So now we have like communication with them where we'll go back and forth, and they've invited us to a school tour. You know, yeah. So that was really, really cool. The weekend before that, Ryan at a math teacher conference, and Sarah, myself, Casey, and Melissa went to Portland for a teaching social justice conference, and that was also fantastic. Again, place-based learning, our whole like support their identity, bringing success. So it has been a whirlwind of a month full of professional development, traveling, and now we need to process all the information
A
because
lot of info.
Halloween came immediately after that, and so I need to sit down and spread out all my literature that I got, so we can learn how to implement these things in a way that is sustainable and like manageable for us. Because the last thing I want to do is add more things to our to-do list, but maybe if we could figure out how to organize the to-do list with our like professional development in mind, it will continue to streamline and
Yeah.
we'll continue to grow and be successful. Lots of the other schools were impressed by what we were doing. Melissa and I chuckled at the first day because they were like, raise your hand if you manage social emotional, maybe raise your hand if you're an administrator, raise your hand, and Melissa and I kept being like, for every single thing. So I was just telling them, Melissa, about how we kept raising our hands at the breakfast and we're laughing because we did all the things at the Teacher Powered Schools Conference.
Yeah, I was trying to be
And,
sneaky by coming in on Zoom, and I guess you saw me, huh?
I did, well, I see all the things, so yes, of course it's fun. Yeah, does anyone else want to share professional development feedback?
It was a lot.
We went to the
North
teaching for social justice, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. We've never been able to do this. To like, and this is CSP grant is what paid for it because professional development is really expensive.
So expensive.
So we would normally not either pay out of your own pocket or just not do it. So I don't know much longer, you know, like these funds are drying out, but like. For sure.
Yeah.
And to see also, yeah, our model isn't unique. There are other people who've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I felt like little siblings of them, like with a big sister, big brother. How do you do that? Sibling, exactly. We covered them with so many questions. We're like, I felt like we were like little kids, so excited to talk to people who have like made it through. It was also affirming of how messy it is. I mean, running and like being part of any school and under any form is can be, messy and challenging, and then adding in all these other layers of being, just trying to do it differently. And it was just affirming to see other people who they were like, of course, that's just like, it's always kind of a little bit messy, a little bit chaotic, sometimes scary because you all fall apart. And to see people who have done this, that our siblings they opened in 1971. So they have managed to
get morale boosting there.
Yeah, to see they've survived, and also there's no perfect way to do this.
Right.
So that was affirming.
I'm so glad you guys got to do that. Okay, anything else on that one? Okay, I've got fundraising committee reports. I have some numbers for you guys. We did our first weekend for the senior trip at Grocery Outlet, and it was shockingly successful. I had promised to match the first day. Well, that was a mistake because they made like $486, which is actually completely out of my scope of ability to match. But luckily, Dan helped me, and we split it. So we made 486 on October 18th. We made 327.
Wow.
And then Dan and I threw in, $500. So we are up to $1,779 in the senior class fund so far.
So cool.
So cool. And I have to say, all the kids that showed up were so awesome. They worked so hard, and they really put themselves out there and really talked about what they were doing. And they were fantastic. I was really, really proud of them. And it was a very positive experience, and I'm assuming that November is going to be just as cool.
Yay!
So that was really, really rad. We have some more stuff coming up. I'm going to come back to the school and do more pet talking. We've got some girls want to do a bake sale at the Lorna Byrne holiday craft fair. Yeah. Emily's grandma has a table, so they're going to try to do a bake sale thing there. I'm hoping we can get like stickers and cards to also get to that table. I'm still waiting to hear back from the Dome School about their holiday event. I put in for a table, which I will share with the kids. I'm thinking it would be really cool if we actually tried to pre-sale the centerpieces. Like get all the seniors involved, see if they can ask around in their families if they want to pre-order those, because if we had a pre-ordered number, it would make it really easy to make them and distribute them. And then we could have some more for the table too, which hopefully I'm getting. So that's, in the works. I'm going to be talking with Shannon about stickers and cards, because she's indicated she's willing to help the kids with that and get involved with us. So that's what we've got going on with the senior trip fundraising.
Yay!
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. I was really impressed. I wasn't expecting those numbers, so it was cool. Is anybody else doing any other want to talk about?
Did a Cancer Kids.
Oh yes.
While we were in kids, happening over.
It was very rainy. I brought down cans.
Yeah.
It was a very rainy day.
And
that didn't impact it too much.
She said it went okay. And we don't have another Cancer for Kids until May.
Okay.
Wow. It's now so popular that you only get 2 a year.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't sure what dates to do. This was originally, there's another parent who had intended to run Cancer for Kids, and then they got very sick. So I got given to Kathleen, and then we were all in Michigan that weekend. So it got a little messy. But it happened, and then I was able to sign up for 2 successive weekends in May.
Ooh,
so our 2 are going to be back to back.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then Hartford has also discussed bringing up Cause a lot of our kids are former Dome School kids, and Dome School used to do bike-a-thon.
Yeah.
And we were thinking, we had briefly discussed something like Laps for Loop, where they can bike or run or roller skate or something and do like a family camp out like we did at the Dome School, where they do laps at the Grayback camp out or something like that. Yeah, it was
That takes me back in time.
or dance-a-thon, where, you know, they get pledged for every song that they dance, and then, you know, get paid the money for that. So I'm hoping to bring that up at a community class really soon, because A, nostalgia, B, it's adorable, even not the senior level, you know, like we have lots of costs that we run into with our demographics being what they are. Change of clothes is one thing, being a place-based facility as well, like our students do a lot of field work and like raincoats and stuff. And so that is one way I think that maybe we can get them all involved in raising money for that and offsetting the cost of those things that they so desperately need.
Cool. That's a cool idea. I really like that. Okay, any other fundraising talk? Okay, then we're moving on to new business. The Redwood Foundation Scholarship Account.
Yeah, I will talk about that, and it has to do with fundraising, so it's a perfect segue, we got into the right
Awesome.
section of the agenda. I brought the scholarship fund agreement, that is the agreement for the account that we have open, and it's being managed by the Redwood Foundation. It's a non-endowed investment account, and so non-endowed means that we get to decide each year how much money we want to give, really how much we can afford to give in order to keep it alive, because we want to keep some money in the account so that it can grow over time. And the reason why it's really important to have a KCA scholarship is because when the Redwood Foundation got all of these donors and organizations establishing these scholarships for the Illinois Valley area, the only high school was IVHS, and so they put in their eligibility wording that it was for a graduate at Illinois Valley High School. So there's like dozens of scholarships that are for this community in this area that our students cannot apply for just because they're not graduating from Illinois Valley High School. And that's really unfortunate, because actually IVHS is like, they've been receiving the most money school-wide of any school in the district, because donors throughout Josephine County have recognized that this is an area of high need. But right now our students are going to miss out on that opportunity. So we have established this potential for giving away a scholarship, but the only thing that we need now is money in the account. And that's challenging, because things that come to my mind immediately are like bagging groceries at Grocery Outlet or doing camp for kids, but those things are like already scheduled out for the rest of this year. So we need to come up with some creative ideas for fundraising, or maybe like soliciting donations from businesses, or I don't know, just finding generous individuals, maybe hosting like a dinner and attracting people, and then informing them about this opportunity that they can donate.
A theater performance at Joyce's Theater.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
If we can get like a couple $1,000s in the account this year by like April, then we could award two $250 scholarships at the end of the year and have enough money left in the account that it could grow just on its own over time, and we could give out even more money next year. And they will advise us on how much money we can award, and how that would impact the account as a whole, and like its capacity for growth in the future. And we also included in the scholarship that it is not just for like a traditional college or university tuition, but that it could go towards any kind of apprenticeship or trades program. Like the money though will be given directly to whatever program the student is going to use it for. So that's kind of how like the
I think that's great. Yeah, and not just being a college, but it could be a trade school. So it really widens the opportunity. Okay,
But I'll pass this around if anybody wants to look at it, and does anybody have any questions or concerns about this or any ideas for fundraising?
Yes, I'm thinking of some people in the community I know who might be interested in donating, whether it's 50 or $100. Is there like a flyer that we can hand off to someone? Is there something like that we can?
We should make something, maybe they have it on the website. You go to their website, they have a button where you can go and you can donate money electronically, but they also have directions for sending in a check. And so we could receive a check from someone if they wanted to drop it off at the school, and we could mail it in, as long as we just wanna make sure that people note on the check that it's for the KCA scholarship, so they know which check it's in. But it would be great to have a flyer. So I can look into that and see if they have something like printable, ready to go on their website, and if not, we can create something.
yeah, that sounds really cool. Okay, then that's the Redwood Foundation account. That is interesting. Thank you for bringing that.
That's awesome, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. We have the restorative, did everybody get the email with restorative justice revision? Yep. Yes. And I believe we want to vote on that, yes? Okay. We have a motion to approve the revision for the restorative justice.
I motion. Motion.
I motion to approve.
I motion to approve.
I second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
I
Great. Yeah, looks good. Food for thought for Mindy is up
Oh, yeah,
next.
sorry.
Hey, Grace,
Yes.
did you all also get so along with the restorative justice policy, it was just a one sentence add-on that was updated, but what's really important is the student rights and responsibilities handbook that I rewrote with a little bit more of a.
Under old business.
That's under old
Okay.
business, so that's.
Okay, because those two went together, so I was just sorry, I didn't see the agenda, my bad.
Yeah, it's under old business, so it's coming up.
Awesome, sorry.
You guys want them, Melissa gave them to me.
Okay, so I had put a note on there for food for thought for the board. I don't want us to necessarily like figure this out today, but it occurred to me that it is November, and I am theoretically teaching a class here at the end of January. And historically, when Terry took time off of the board to teach his class here, I took time off the board last spring to teach here. And looking at our bylaws, I don't feel like there's anything in them that specifically says that I can't be a community teacher and also be on the board. I would like to be able to do both of those things, mainly because I really enjoy board work and also because I'm the secretary. And so
We enjoy your board.
I don't
also.
I'm not sure step in to be board secretary if I was on. I think that I would like to do both. I think that because we are the teacher leaders boss and the teacher leaders then are my boss, I think that I could abstain from the correct vote so that I'm never voting about something that has to do with my bosses or hourly rates for my position. But I would like for all of you to mull that over because I don't want there to be any kind of conflict of interest. Feel free to read the bylaws that Casey gave us. We could get you guys copies. Just to make sure that you aren't reading it a different way than I am. Because if there is any concern, then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do next. But just food for thought, that's all.
Thank you, Mindy. Yeah, I'll read the bylaws. I don't think it'll be a problem.
And just for the record, I stayed on the board while I was teaching.
Oh, you did?
Uh-huh.
There you go. Okay, old business. Now we are at the second read of the student conduct handbook with the aim of adoption. Did we all get Melissa's email and?
Yeah,
You did?
and that one we've had for a minute, right? Cause that
Yeah.
one we've had and we've tabled last time,
Yeah.
so that our new student reps could.
Did you guys get a look at that?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yep.
So. Are we ready to,
I motion to approve the student.
I second it. Are we
Or
all?
the
in-
student conduct handbook.
Yes. Are we all in favor?
Wait.
Student conduct
Can I see
handbook,
the?
which is
Oh, wait, I
subtext
have it.
rights and responsibilities.
Sorry. Oh, no, it is actually the student conduct, it's in secondary. So I motion to approve the student rights and responsibilities. Standards for student conduct.
I second. All in favor?
Alright,
Okay.
Yay.
Alright, we're in business.
Back in January.
Okay, so that's me back up January. So I said I can ask Daniel, and I did, but I came into more questions than answers for you guys, because I need to know, well, there's so many options for a backup generator, it's gonna be very expensive. It could be tens of thousands of dollars, it depends on what you want. If you want something to click in and cover, you know, lights in every room, you have to have someone assess the amount of energy that you're gonna need to pull. And then we also need to pull permits for that. Our whole, it's like electrical circuit that has to be wired in. That has to be done professionally, we have to have permits for the fuel source. So so there's a lot of questions, so I don't have any answers. I think what I need to know is, I didn't know who should I call if I have, as these questions come up, should I go ahead and schedule someone to come and
Well, I think
assess that?
I think that Boy might be a good place to start, right, in terms of what our current energy. What we currently have coming in when we have power, right, cause that's gonna kind of determine what we need.
You mean our
Power
like
out.
usage from the power company?
Well,
Or how-
you need to assess how much power. Yeah, if you want a generator to click in, you didn't want one that to totally cover the whole building, every single, you want
No.
some emergency lights.
Yeah, like lights, and so that we can use the water. Because the main issue when the power goes out is that we lose water.
We do, we will lose it.
Yes.
So.
The water fountain doesn't work.
Weird.
Daniel was suggesting Tyrone, would be a good person to look into that, cause he does that sort of thing.
So we need to
Go, call Tyrone. Yes, but he was kind of hard to get a hold of, but, I just didn't know, what. I just want a little dinky generator, I assume you guys wanted something. And then, do I need to wait till a board meeting to ask this question? Is there someone I can call?
You
that is, like,
can
in the-
probably, yeah, I mean, Melissa's our facilities chair.
Okay.
So right offhand, she would probably have the most information for that. I just brought it up because it becomes a safety issue once it goes for too long.
Yeah.
And once we don't have power for so many hours, we have to cancel school and the students have to go home.
Yeah,
And-
and it's dark and dangerous.
Yeah, and then even without it, if the power goes out and we don't have any water, you know, like, where is the line there? You know, so it can be an ongoing conversation. Thank you for doing.
Yeah, I
that
didn't do
work there.
much, but I
That's
wanted
a-
to do more stuff,
Yeah.
I just don't know how it involves, like, should I hire Tyrone, or I guess I must wait.
Yeah,
Kelly, we can talk about it if you want to. The electricity in this building is really tricky. We literally have 5 different outlet like 5 boxes. In our section specifically, we are operated by 3 different boxes. this building's been piecemealed together and it's not like the greatest setup electric wise, but yeah, I feel like if we put our heads together, we might be able to figure out a way to, yeah, just keep kind of the more simple but necessary things afloat.
So is this a situation that maybe we call Tyrone and have him come look at it and get, you know,
I think that,
get an idea of what might work?
yeah, cause he could offer prices, he's more current on, I'm assuming, he's more current on what's available. You know, how much things cost to wire, you know, all of that, cause he is.
What it's gonna take, what,
Right, where it would even go.
Yeah. Not that boys a lot of input in that as well, but as far as like the electrician aspect, I think.
she might be there, she might.
We just want to see.
Yeah.
Are y'all talking to me? I'm so sorry. It keeps the audio keeps cutting out. And so sometimes I get a clear stream and then a lot of times it's like it goes completely blank. I'm sure Cody's dealing with the same thing.
Yes, I also have no video for like the last 30 minutes either.
Yeah,
It's just
we've had no
black.
video the whole time.
Woo! Thanks for
expected.
speaking up.
Maybe we should set some time to like
Yay.
talk to Kelly about it, about calling Tyrone, or
Yeah.
you can talk to her on your own. It could be a group effort. What do you want? What should
I'll
we
just
do?
talk to you, I can just call Melissa.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was like, Kelly and I can communicate and then we can kind of figure out, because we can also bounce some ideas around with Boy, because he is going to know a lot
Yeah.
more about the electrical of this building specifically, because he's been all up in the attic and yeah,
Okay.
knows it's
Then we just
privy.
first off, we'll table the backup generator until the next time.
It shall stay old
It
business.
shall stay old business. Okay, and then we have Rusk Ranch contract as old business.
And I have a copy of the contract with the property maps and stuff that people. It's pretty short thing. Casey
Oh,
sent
sweet,
me.
what did you have, is that the same?
It's a attachment that you sent me.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, there is that if you vote to approve it, it essentially says, I don't know who wants copies of this. It essentially says that KCA can use Rusk Ranch. There's a map here. There's a lot 1101
Okay.
that we could build something on, like kind of have it as ours, and then we would be free to use the rest of Rusk Ranch for outdoor learning. And the trade-off, the kicker, is that we would have to pay the property tax bill for this year. And they did send in a new bill, and I think I passed it around. You see it? It's like a stamp, separate piece of paper.
Yeah.
The bill, is that a separate piece of paper? It's not the one that says like example,
Yeah, this is the new.
the new one, yeah, what's the amount again?
It is.
787. So current amount due on July 15th is 700.
Oh, that's a sample from last year,
Due November 17th, 2025, full 752,
752,
3% discount.
okay.
In parentheses.
Yeah, so we would have to pay this bill, and then we would have to do the work with the planning department to convert the tax lot to a basically we document that it's being used for educational purposes and they'll stop charging us. but we'd have to do that.
And
So-
how would we do that? What things would we have to do?
Just keeping a log, like using it more frequently for one, and then keeping a log. Like we went a couple times we went last year, I logged that. But yeah, so we would just log it, make sure that everybody's using it at least a couple of times. We don't have to like ensure a lot of use. And then the plant department should convert it over. And then we would have, that would kind of be, this would be the amount that we'd be paying to use the space basically. We'd have to pay the tax bill until it gets converted. And it's a once-a-year tax bill, so we definitely would have to pay this year. Ideally, it would get taken care of
Do
next year.
we have a vision for this space or like a long-term plan? I mean,
Well, Forrest's geobiology class is our field science requirement right now. He's taking students out, like today they went to, which I guess could have been a community connection. They went to a salmon watch field trip at the fish hatchery. And so our science program in general, the vision is that it is like an outdoor, like if that could be our outdoor science classroom where we like study the wildlife there, keep track of it, do a lot of citizen science projects, monitoring the water quality, et cetera, et cetera. That is the vision.
okay.
Period.
So it doesn't really require us to do anything to the property, just pay it and go
Yeah.
beyond.
Pay it and use it is basically
Yeah.
it. And so do we feel like that's what we wanna spend on that, or are there free outdoor resources?
Free outdoor resources that we could use aren't as accessible with our school transportation situation.
Okay.
Rusk Ranch has a nice large parking lot that's big enough for a bus. That's not gonna get stuck in the mud. So while there are like plenty of spaces that are technically free, getting there is a whole entire situation. Even $8 Mountain, it's pretty difficult to take a full-size bus up there to a lot of
And it's the
spots.
time driving there and back.
And the time driving there and back,
We
Double
so.
also have
fast.
like Rough and Ready Botanical Seaside, which has a big paved parking lot.
Right, Rough and Ready is a good
And
spot,
a lot
and
of
GeoBio
space,
has
there's
that.
water, there's a lot going on there. I mean, I just wonder long term, especially if we get into some of these cuts where we don't have as
Great
many
question.
resources, is that a place we wanna spend money when we do have other things?
Yeah,
It
so
goes
it's-
back to the history of KCA kind of
Yeah.
having this dream of using the Rusk Ranch space.
Yeah,
It's been something that we've been attached to for a long time, and I also, one thing that I think is really important about that is that it's not just this field, it's also, it includes the natural playground and like that we can do things where we can go and engage with the other spaces and engage with the public.
Yeah.
We can host fees.
We have access to the river,
okay.
mostly on.
Could build an outdoor pipe, yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, I think I'm done, I was just like trying to just add that piece that like part of why this is important is, because it could become something bigger in the future, we could build an outdoor classroom there, we could
Yeah.
incorporate more outdoor learning principles into our school,
Yeah,
Yeah, from its, yeah, we could build structures there.
right,
And-
so it does bring a lot of added value.
Yeah, where it's not just a public, open access, public use space where you
Right.
can't leave, but yeah, like we could have an outdoor classroom. And I'm hesitant to say we could, because we have so many things on our list of
Yes.
possibilities.
Yes.
But that is in the short term, it would be a space that you could go to at any point and have private access to it. Long term could be a real learning environment, and that's very different than like what we
Yeah.
do at Rough and Ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So when you're paying for the tax lot, are you paying for just the part that KCA is using? Or are you paying for the entire Rusk Ranch?
just paying for that one part because most of the other tax lots have already been converted. So, and this goes back to 15 years ago. Weren't you on the board back when
Yeah.
the soccer teams, they were gonna, supposed to be a soccer field and yeah, you know this lot well.
White,
Uh-huh.
blackberries.
Yeah. And so that's why, so it's just, yeah, we would only be responsible for paying for this little piece of taxes, but we would have access
To the whole place?
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to put on a festival there.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, when I first came there, yes, we built a stage right away and started doing events. It's like there's a lot of room.
So the general consensus from all of you teacher leaders is that this is a global educational space for us.
It's extremely valuable. I also worry about our money,
Yeah.
right? And I also know that there's a chance we may have to pay next year as well.
Yeah.
That doing the work to get it converted, who's going to do that and who has the time to do that? So I'm aware that like,
And
you know, that this may
another
take a
question
couple
that
years.
comes up to me is insurance wise, when we're in that space, is the school, are we insured there? Does Russ Branch have insurance there that covers us?
Russ Branch has their own insurance and our insurance does cover it as a field trip.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, as long as we stay away, like when we get your water, things change. So our
Right.
insurance company does not like us to go mess around with water, so that would be, you know, we would have to get extra, get special permission whenever we wanted to.
Okay.
Get near the river.
Okay.
Yeah, it's covered.
So what we're doing here is voting to sign a contract and pay this? Is that what we're doing today?
You're deciding if it's worth that, and the contract would require 6 months notice from either party to cancel the contract.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions or thoughts
I
about?
have a question, just how big is that the 1101
I
section?
believe it's roughly 4 acres.
4 acres.
Is it? Let me see if it has the actual. Oh, I can't read this one. Yeah, it's roughly, it's just shy of 4 acres.
Cool.
Cody, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm
Did you have any questions about this or thoughts?
No, I mean, it seems like money that's kind of that's like maybe not gonna be really worth it at the exact moment, but in the long run, it could be a real great opportunity for us, and so it seems worthwhile.
Yeah, okay.
I think we could have our graduation.
Oh
my goodness.
I room at 4.
That's true.
We wouldn't get run away by the
Yeah.
sprinklers at 7:30.
Start 6 months in advance.
We could have a whole band. Yeah, I like, Terry
Possibly
saying,
we could borrow the big,
Also, you know our
tent that they use at Harvard
trip
Fair.
yeah.
earlier?
Oh, yeah, I know.
The sky
Sky
dome.
lodge.
Camping trip at the end of
Lucy
the
said
year?
a camping trip at the end of the year too, if we could just have it at Russ Branch. That's
Yeah,
a super
I mean,
good
that
idea.
right there.
And then this
Right.
wouldn't that make our insurance cover even more happy? That'd be good.
We would have to like check, insurance and all that, but that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Solve
a bunch of problems, close those loops.
Porta
Yeah.
potties, it's pretty basic. porta potty.
Camping trip festival.
That was
Yeah.
the first thing that came to my mind was
KCA
camping.
Palooza.
Camping.
I motion to approve moving forward with the contract with West Branch. I think they've been our partner for a long time.
I second, the motion.
Any discussion?
Any discussions? All in favor?
Nice.
Graduation thing sold it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really did.
Yes, okay. So that is passed, and that is concluding our board meeting today.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Next board meeting will be December 1st. So,
Does the January date look good for everyone?
What
It's first day back, January 5th.
Oh,
looks good to me.
First day back for the teachers, are you
And then
guys?
Yeah, is that okay for you guys?
Sure.
Just jump right back in?
Yep.
Okay.
jump into the club.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.
Great.